Well, they got out their shovel, their rake, and their hoe, and they plowed the earth till Adam called.
Whoa! We prepared the earth above and below, but what on earth are we going to grow?
Well, they scratched their heads and they tapped the floor, and they scratched again and they thought some more, till Aaron said,
I've got it! We'll plant vegetables among the fruit trees. We'll try all different kinds of seeds.
Well, they dug and they dug and they dug and they dug, planting beans and potatoes here and there. And they dug and they dug and they dug and they dug, planting carrots and tomatoes everywhere. Then they patted the ground and they watered all around. And they watched as the sun came shining down. They waited 2 weeks for something to appear. They looked far off and they looked quite near. They waited 3 weeks, and lo and behold, little green shoots started to unfold. They waited 4 weeks. Tiny vegetables came, more little plants than a person could name. By the 5th week, they tasted their first salad greens. And by the 6th week, the garden was bigger than their wildest dreams. They invited their friends and they invited their neighbors to taste the delicious fruits of their labors. One day, Adam felt empty, out of sorts, kind of low. He thought about it, stopped short, and said,
Whoa! We've prepared our garden and watched it grow. We've got the best garden that God could bestow. But still, something's missing. Let's think of a way to say thanks for this harvest that looks so good and tastes so marvelous.
Say, I was thinking about your dilemma. To me, it's very clear. Why not build a sukkah? It's that time of year.
What's a sukkah?
A sukkah is a little harvest hut hung with vegetables, fruits, and nuts. It's a way to show God how we appreciate the harvest that looks so good and tastes just great.
Well, it was settled. They decided to build a sukkah. They got out their hammer, some nails, and some wood, and they put it together as best as they could. They made a door and put up the walls and stood on their basket to reach up tall. So eager to finish, they just didn't stop. And to finish, they put greens all over the top. The sukkah was finished. A sukkah to say,
Thank you, God, for your harvest this day.
well, I went to the garden at harvest time, and I was looking for the best fruits I could find. Something went kerplop.
Kerplop?
Right at my feet it dropped. Well, I picked it up and I tied it with string, and I hung it on my sukkah and started to sing. Tee-la-la-lee-la-la-lee-la-la. Tee-la-la-lee-la-la-lee-la-la. You know what kerplopped?
What kerplop? An apple crunch.
Well, she picked it up and she tied it with string, and she hung it on the sukkah and she started to sing. Well, I went to the garden at harvest time, and I was looking for the best fruits I could find. Something went kerplop.
Kerplop?
Right at my feet it dropped. You know what kerplopped?
What kerplopped? A corn ear and a carrot spear.
He picked them up and he tied them with string, and he hung them on the sukkah
Tyler, what's the story with the Torah?
Oh, the Torah. So you saw the Torah. This isn't any old Torah.
We figured that there must be some kind of story.
How right you are. As I said, this Torah is an Eitz Chaim, a tree of life. Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba b'tzor b'cheha meyushar.
Nice tune, but what's the story?
The story. Well, back in Galicia when I was growing up, my father, who himself was a great rabbi, wanted me to become a scholar too. So he sent me to study in Palestine, now called Israel. I spent hours with the Sofer learning to write those beautiful Torah letters.
Every letter of the Aleph Bet wanted to be the first to begin the Torah. Aleph, so humble and quiet, which begins God's holy name, Elohim. Aleph was not given this honor. Bet, which begins every bracha. Baruch atah Hashem, blessed be the Lord. Bet was given this honor to begin the Torah.
Please, let me try. Like this?
Good. Good.
By the end of the year, my father discovered that not only was I not a great student, but I hardly showed up for class. So he called me back to Galicia, but before I left, the Sofer came to see me and he taught me this song.
Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tom echea meyushar. This Torah is a tree of life, and Eitz Chaim. Take this Torah to your village and use it on Simchat Torah and on the other festivals. And one day you will understand what I mean, that this Torah is a tree of life. Go.
So that is it. That's the story with the Torah.
Oh, no, that's just the beginning.
Then what happened?
Well, our village, like many other villages in Eastern Europe, we were not in peace for very long. Visits from Nazi soldiers became frequent. Every week we would hear stories of entire families, sometimes entire villages disappearing when the Nazis came. Everyone was looking for a way to get out. So my little sister, who became your Bubbie, she and I built a hideout in the woods.
Bubbie has a brother? Bubbie never mentioned she had a brother. That's strange.
The news of Jews disappearing was becoming worse and worse. We knew our turn was coming. We could hear the dogs barking before we even caught sight of them. I grabbed my little sister's hand and this Torah and our parents, and we ran to our secret hideout.
Listen, do you hear the dogs? This is the end. They will surely find us with their dogs. Hold my hand and be as quiet as can be. They're gone. The soldiers have passed. The dogs didn't even smell us. It's a miracle. It must be the Torah. This Torah saved our lives. Now I know what the Sofer meant when he said this Torah was a tree of life. So this is that same miracle Torah. But how did the Torah get in the attic? And how did you get out of the wood?
We spent the next 4 months traveling at night and hiding out during the day. Finally, we made it to a border town where we got only 2 visas. Papa and Mama were too sick to take the journey. They ordered me, Nisim, take your sister and start a new life in America.
Nisim? I thought Bubbie came on a boat all by herself.
Well, you might say she did. You see, the conditions were very bad. We just took this little trunk with a few belongings, but we had very little food. Many people on the boat got sick, and I was one of them. I knew I would never make it across the ocean, so I told my sister, your Bubbie, to always keep the Torah in a safe and secure place, and that I would always be with her. And here I am.
Nisim. Nisim comes from Nes, and Nes means miracle.
Sarah, this is Bubbie's Nisim.
Bubbie always talked about her Nisim in the attic, and that's why we weren't allowed up here. We always thought it was some precious childhood toy.
So Bubbie's secret is Uncle Nisim.
Well, let's just keep it her secret.